Good evening, people of the earth. This is Mystery. This is a special inaugural edition. This video may not be for everybody, but I'd like to say if you like ice cream, pornography, and candy bars, there's a good chance it is. In these videos I'm going to discuss many things, or very few things, depending on what my mood is, going up against Witch Doctor. There's a little bit of controversy going around, and I'd like to put some of that to bed. The faster bot should not always get aggression points. Alright folks, here it is, straight from the horse's mouth. I think Witch Doctor won that fight. No, I don't. Alrighty then. Let's take a look at the rules. Here we are now on the Battlebots website for judging criteria. Damage, well, that's pretty self-explanatory. Or is it? Is it? I don't know. In that fight, I think the judges got it wrong when it comes to aggression and control. Let's start with control. What a lot of people don't know is that control is not how you control the fight, it's how you control your own bot. Control. The control of a BattleBot is about the ability of the bot's operators to attack an opponent at its weakest points, use their bot's weapon in the most effective way, and avoid being damaged by the opponent or the arena hazards. Okay, that is the definition of control. I'm gonna pose a couple questions for you. During that fight, which bot showed a better ability to attack an opponent at its weakest points? I feel like Fusion did. Use their bot's weapons in the most effective way, and avoid being damaged by the opponent or the arena hazards. Now, I did avoid being damaged by their weapon, but I still took on some damage. Now, we're not going to talk about damage because we're talking about control here. Let's dive deeper into the control factors. Now that you know control is talking about your own bot, let's ask yourself these three questions of control factors for each robot. How well is a bot able to dictate when and how it attacks its opponent? Well, I feel like Fusion was doing a pretty good job of that the entire fight. It's hard to impose your will onto a faster bot, but even still, I caught Witch Doctor a couple times as they were trying to circle around me. Did I do a fairly good job of keeping my face pointed at him while that horizontal spun up? Did I attack with the horizontal when it was spun up? Now we jump down here to this one part that I want to point out before we move any further. How well does an operator compensate for damage? Example, a broken wheel that the bot may have sustained. Now, Witch Doctor did a pretty good job working on 3 wheels. There's no question there. But did Fusion still manage to spin up its horizontal and hit Witch Doctor with exactly this, half of its drive gone? I think so. Moving back up here, here's a good one for you. How well does the bot avoid putting itself in the path of another bot's weapon? Gee, I don't know. I feel like Witch Doctor was in the path of my weapon pretty often. And the last of the control factors. How well does the bot avoid the changing arena hazards? Example, the kill saws. The arena is a different hazard for each bot. When you have a horizontal, the walls are a hazard. If you rewatch that fight, take a look at how hard I'm trying not to have that horizontal hit the wall. And at the end of the fight, when I spun up the horizontal when my drive was out, how hard I tried to keep that thing away from the wall while Witch Doctor's pushing me in the corner just so I could control my bot around him and try getting the other side of his wedge off. The kicker for me is control is about maneuvering and placement. Maneuvering and placement. Now Fusion might be a slow robot, so maneuvering doesn't look very fast. Was I maneuvered pretty well? Was my placement of the weapons direct? Did I allow them to get to my very small side and hit me with their weapon? Well, Witch Doctor was boldly ramming into your weapon to take it out. Sure. But then they don't win control. Control definitions. Bot is rarely able or unable to initiate physical. Witch Doctor initiated some physical or weapon contact with, and also avoid attacks from. And also avoid attacks from its opponent. 2-to-1 score. Neither bot is consistently able to manage its interactions with the other bot. The bot that appears to have more influence for a large portion of the fight should receive the 2 control points. Well, now let's take a look at aggression. If you notice with aggression, most every one of these references using the weapon or attempting to use the weapon. So with that in mind, you have to think a more aggressive play is actually using your weapon. Down to a 2-to-1 score, which is what the judges scored this one. Both bots attack each other using their weapons. Award 2 points to the bot that appeared to use its weapon more as primary means of contact. I'm pretty sure Fusion was only using its weapons for contact. Except for when I was letting my horizontal respin up. Which, the first Q&A, should avoiding contact with the opponent always count against the bot's aggression? Not necessarily if a bot is moving away from its opponent in order to get its weapon ready for attack. Scenario number 2. One bot attacks more often using its weapon than the other bot attacks without using its weapon. Now, I didn't count how many times I hit Witch Doctor, but I'm pretty sure it's more times than they rammed me. If both bots have non-functional weapons, award 2 points to the bot that appeared to instigate more of the contacts. Okay, Fusion's weapon was working for the entire fight, so that's negligible. If the weapons on both bots are disabled and the bots are ramming each other, then the frequency and boldness of the attack should be considered when deciding which bot should receive the 2 points. That's negligible as well because Fusion's weapon was working. If a bot has a functional weapon but never uses the weapon, or uses it with little effect, that bot should not receive more than 2 points, regardless of how much aggression it showed. Now, Witch Doctor, when they had a functional weapon, did they use it with anything more than little effect? So we're probably in the realm of 1 or 2. And with those, which bot appeared to use its weapon more as primary means of contact? Fusion. Or number 2, one bot attacks more using its weapon than the other bot attacks without using its weapon. Award 2 points to the bot using its weapon. Considering that I was still using my weapon until the last 20 seconds of the fight, yeah, that's hard to not be automatically awarded 2 points for aggression. Now, I do gotta say, ramming your bot into another bot's weapon may seem aggressive, but we just went over that. We just went over it for control. Control, the idea is not to put yourself in the other bot's weapon. So I don't know how doing that would get you control. And aggression, is more about actually using your weapon. So which bot used its weapon more? Right here, this is where things start going south for Fusion. My left drive is already locked up after that hit. Now I'm not moving here. My left drive is locked up and my right wheel is in the kill saw slot. Now here I'm spinning up the weapon. Again, control of your bot, even when it only has one tiny little wheel on one side. Watch as I keep this weapon away from Mike, away from the wall, until it's spun up enough that I feel like I can take a shot at him. A lot of people were saying that Fusion was dead at the end of this match. Well, you just seen the horizontal working. And what happens when Fusion's weapons stop working? There's either fire or there's smoke. How do I know the horizontal's still working? Well, because it was just working. And I shut it off because I'm up against the wall here and I don't want to try and spin it up while it's up against the wall. But as far as control goes, throwing your bot into another bot's weapon is totally against control. As far as aggression goes, using your weapon is far better than ramming somebody. If that was not Fusion being as aggressive as it possibly can, please show me a case where it was more aggressive. The same goes for control. Show me a case where it was better controlled while its drive was working. And keep in mind that its drive was working for 2.5 minutes, or 80% of that fight. How well it was controlled after its drive went out. Coming out of that fight, I was pretty much expecting a unanimous decision in my favor. Well then, Reese, why didn't you challenge? Challenge. Because frankly, I felt like I had done enough. And you only get one challenge, and you might need it later on. I can't say for certain that the judges are looking at this the same way as me, with a rule book in front of them. But what I can say is that Mike Gelatly has some brass in that nutsack of his. Now, I don't want to take away from Witch Doctor in that fight. They did a hell of a job. Mike's a pretty good driver. And they were good sports. And I don't mean to sit here being a crybaby about it, because I was happy with the outcome of that fight. Now, I didn't get to come home with one of them little winner's pogs. But you've seen what Fusion did there. I don't blame the judges, although it's been a year since that Hydra Tantrum fight. You'd think they would have got their eyes checked by now. And I don't blame Witch Doctor for that loss. That loss lands squarely on my shoulders. Apparently more than a few people thought Fusion was totally dead at the end of that fight. But I did a little rookie mistake. I did not show functionality of that weapon at the end of that fight. Other than that, I pretty much did all I could. Everything's cordial between Witch Doctors still. They were generous enough to bring a Make-A-Wish kid by, and I could give him some hats, and that was all nice. And then I found out he was a Witch Doctor fan, so I took him out back. This is kind of what it looked like. I'm gonna reenact what happened between that kid and me with my kitty here. How could you vote for Witch Doctor? Oh yeah.
Ethan, you did the unthinkable. You quieted down Martin Mason.
My God, Martin Mason. The fact that you refrained from punching that 16-year-old kid really shows some integrity. He's my hero. In this moment, with all that was going on there, and he comes over and puts a hand over your mouth, oh boy. I've seen a lot of fights in my time, and usually something like that starts them. I do not condone violence, nor am I calling for it. I am simply stating, wow. Just hate that frickin' witch doctor.
I'd be scared. I was you.
Ethan and Riptide, congratulations as you move to 2-0.
We were like showing our butt, like we just wanted.
What a nice putt it was. It was a cute putt. Not really my style, but of all the bot putts out there, it's a good one. Ooh, look at me, I'm a talking head. Yeah. I don't wear pants when I record videos.
You know, I designed this robot to be unbeatable, and you know, it's a great robot to base it off of. So, good job.
Well, Martin, did you ever think something like that would happen to your robot?
You know what, folks? This cat's got 9 lives. You're gonna see it again, folks. And you know what? Great job on these guys. They brought 100%. That's what we want to see, folks. We want to see that intensity in the arena. But we're ready to go again, folks, anytime, you betcha. Oh, yeah. Right there, man.
Martin, thank you.
All right. Right there, man.
Martin, thank you.
All right.
If you like this video, make sure you click that like button and subscribe. That's gonna do it for me today, folks. I'm Whyachi. See you next time.